Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
This tips and tricks for the 2022 Age Group Occupational Games Masters.
Throw that long title out there.
Oh, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Oh, Bruce, you're back. Savon must not be doing a podcast right now.
Yeah, serious.
Oh.
Boom, you're live, bro. Boom, you're live.
Welcome, everybody. If you were just listening to this and you have not done the CrossFit Total yet, turn this off immediately and go do it before you do any other events. But we're going to go through the quarterfinals for the age groups, and we'll go event by event. We'll rehash what we had predicted, talk about what they programmed, give you guys some strategy to be successful as you can be. And yeah, let's just get into it, because this is going to be a nice, fun, short show. No commercial free. If you can't tell on the video screen or by my being out of breath, I finished event 1 7 minutes ago.
You still got your headband on.
I do. I have my headband on. I had everything from Element 26. So maybe this isn't a complete commercial free episode, but I had my thumb tape. I had my grips. I had my sweatbands because it's humid in Texas right now. Yeah.
Dude, it just rained here last night. I had 2 jackets on.
Oh, really?
Like, I'm waiting for summertime to hurry up and get here already.
Well, I will say last week it was pretty cold here in Texas.
Really?
Well, cold for us. It was like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, it's short and hoodie weather today.
Well, you could tell I have my one hoodie. I had to take my other one off. It's stupid.
Dude, I had the most old man injury this morning. I cannot believe what I did. So I did the CrossFit Total last night, and I am checking all the boxes. This is a fitness check for 365 days from now when I'm 40, and I'm going to take it serious. But so I did the total last night. I'm relatively unscathed from the deadlift, but this morning there's a lot of pollen in the air here.
Yeah.
And I just went,
oh my gosh.
That's it. I sniffled, and now I cannot turn my head. Like, from the base of my skull to between my shoulder blades, all seized up like a complete spasm from neck to. I'm like Michael Keaton in the original Batman trying to turn right now. I cannot believe. Not a sneeze. Like, I've hurt my back sneezing before.
Yeah.
I got a sensitive back. But
see, okay, I will say this, because you and me, especially when it comes to this particular setup, your first tip that you gave out was you should have done the total already. I told every person that I coach, you do the total last.
Yeah, I thought about
last, because this, I will say this, and when we get to the analyzing the program,
there
are some massive holes in this one. We're going to keep it in the line, but based on the competition that we have, the last thing you want to do is go and pull super heavy so that you take a sniff in and then get jacked up on a bunch of reps, lightweight reps that you got to do.
Yeah.
So I told all my people, you flip-flop 4 and 5. You do the total very last. That's what I would say.
That's a good one.
Anyways.
And yes, I completely.
So don't do what Jay said. Do what Bill said.
I don't know. I think I got stuck and I forgot what was programmed. I was like, strength first.
Right.
I forgot what the workouts actually were. I completely agree. And when we analyze the programming, we'll dive into more of why that is.
Oh, yes, we will.
Because of the other events that are programmed. So let's go through it. So let's go to event number 1 for the Masters. And this is 3 rounds for time, 20 toes to bar, 20 alternating snatches with the 70 and 50. And Bill, your guess was 21, 15, 9 chest to bar pull-ups and dumbbell snatches with the 70 and 50. And my guess was 30, 20, 10 toes to bar, dumbbell snatch. And I reluctantly put dumbbell lunges in there because I thought they would program that. But I'm glad from the Goonies. Oh my gosh, that was Josh Brolin. How far he's come. I just need a sleeveless hoodie, right?
Totally.
I have one
in a little pink bike to ride. Training wheels.
And yes, it's a compliment. Thank you, Wad Zombie. So as far as what we had is like you had the couplet, I had the reluctant triplet. The 60 reps I had is the same 60 we have here. Yeah, but it's 2020. And when you look at this, it's really easy off the jump to just be like unbroken or bust.
Oh yeah.
But if you don't have that capability,
round number 3 is going to kick you right between the legs very hard.
Yeah. So it's really like, hard. 2020, killing it. And then you hop up for like rep 1 of round 2 and you're like, oh, right. Because when it comes to dumbbell snatches, even though it's a posterior core, I would say major mover, the entire core is needed from front to back for both of these movements in 2 opposite directions. So it's a really cool combination of movements, and I think a really sneaky one if you're not prepared for the intensity layered over 60 reps, because it's really easy to overlook this when it says 20 and 20.
Totally. And that, I think the 10-minute time cap is misleading. If you are one of the upper echelon athletes, 10 minutes sounds like you're going to go slow. This really is like you're looking at like 5 to 7 minutes. Like this is a fast. It should be a fast one.
Yeah,
even if you do the breaks, even with breaks.
Right. I think. Well, I have a question for you. Which do you feel is more important to either not break or do less breaks with, the toes to bar or the dumbbell snatch?
I would say this. I think you could muscle your way through snatches if you needed to, because they're generally going to be slower anyway. The hard part is when you can do a set of 20 unbroken toes to bar, and then you get into the last round and you miss one of the toes to bar. And you have to do that little double pump swing, and you come off and you're like, boom, now I'm doing singles. And that's very demoralizing, which you don't feel the same way on the dumbbell snatches. I think of the dumbbell snatches, it's almost understood that you are going to be breaking those up. So I think where the catch is,
or the toes to bar?
I think you're expected to break the dumbbell snatches up.
Got it.
I think the toes to bar, people will hurt themselves more by dipping into the red much further on the toes to bar, because it's like, I just got to get my legs up there. I just got to swing. I just got to get up there. So they will make the mistake of not breaking on the toes to bar when that is the first one. I mean, it is, if you break on round 1, I mean, like, honestly, so we did this in the class. We set this up as one of the class workouts today. And I told everyone, yes, it's 3 rounds of 20, but you should be looking at sets of 10. And that's way more manageable and way more easy to bite off. And it makes your last round much more doable than going, I mean, even if you go unbroken and you're just below that capacity, then it doesn't just hurt you for round 3, it smashes you for round 3.
And I'm with you, because it's the toes to bar that's the easier movement. It's the toes to bar that's the faster movement when you just look at a set of 20.
Yeah.
It's the toes to bar that is going to make this workout really bad if you redline there, because of how hard it's going to make the dumbbell snatches. And
now, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, the other thing that I think is important on this one is, you know how, like, there's 2 different ways to do the toes to bar. You can do the one where you keep the tension on your midline the whole time, where you're trying to get that set of 20 one time unbroken as fast as you can. You do the punch your feet down and you pull up,
almost a butterfly toes to bar deal.
Right. It's super fast. Great job. But you are under tension that entire time when you do that. So I think it's important on this one to not go that route and to really use the swing more on this, where you let your legs come back. So you're essentially relaxing your midline, and then pulling your knees up towards your elbows and trying to kick. So it doesn't have this really long extended, but you aren't under tension the entire time. If you can save any amount of tension on each one of those reps, it really saves for the snatches, especially into that last round.
Yeah, I totally agree. After I just did this one all but 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I was on the ground and I asked, like, what time is it? They're like, it's 10. Well, so we're going at so your time. Yeah. It was 10:55. And it was at 11. I'm like, okay. I'll get up. And after doing it, I think you're spot on because I'm not bad at toes to bar. I'm pretty decent. But even the first round I broke one time,
Yeah.
knowing that my goal really was to hang on to that dumbbell.
Yep.
And it was so much more advantageous. So even with, here's the thing, like we said, toes to bar is faster than dumbbell snatches, but if you break toes to bar one time, they're now the same time.
Yep.
And so now that puts more value on the dumbbell snatches because it's going to not be very common for someone to be able to do this unbroken toes to bar or one break on toes to bar for all 3 rounds. So I highly suggest breaking up the toes to bar, even like quick sets.
Totally.
Because like you said, you can muscle through the dumbbell snatches, right? 70 is a little outside of my comfortable range for dumbbell snatches, but I could still muscle through them. And now, you know, after doing the total wrong, my back is a little sore because I can't move my neck because of that. So I think you're spot on. I manage the toes to bar and try to hang on to that dumbbell because the dumbbell is not necessarily going to make the toes to bar worse,
right?
Especially if you're making like strategic breaks.
Yeah.
And a break, I mean, is like, you know, feet hit the floor, you're going up by the 10-second rest mark or something like that. Like there's time for that in there.
Yeah.
There's time for that in there. All right, let's move over to event number 2. And this is a little bit of a chipper. So in event 2, they had the floor plan. It had a pair of rings and a barbell, essentially. That's all they had on the floor plan. Your guess was 3 rounds of, was it clusters first?
Clusters, pistols, ring muscle ups.
7, 14, and 7.
Yeah.
My guess was 5 rounds, 10 deadlifts, 225, 155, 5 muscle ups, and 20 alternating pistols. And this is, you know, it's a long chipper, and you have this theme of squat, lunge, squat variations of difficulty, 50 overhead squats, 95 and 65, bar facing burpees for 40, back rack lunges, bar facing burpees, cleans anyway, bar facing burpees for 20. And then you have the 20 pistols and 10 muscle ups. This is a little bit of a kitchen sink chipper. Circa 2011, 2012.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait until next week.
Yeah. And so when you guys, yes, thank you for keeping me.
Yeah.
This is the one where you can fall into a very, like you can get yourself in a bad place really soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think right off the bat in that 50-40 of the overhead squats and bar facing burpees.
Yeah, I think going into this, you need to know, well, first of all, I think you need to know what athlete you are. Like, do you have ring muscle ups or not? Because there's that tie break that goes right before the ring muscle ups. And so if you're an athlete that doesn't have ring muscle ups, okay, then your tie break time is your race. And so I think that's where you have to be smart about moving and how you're moving and how fast you're moving, especially with the burpees. If you are someone that has the muscle ups, now you need to be smart about what you have left in the tank. And you're right. You don't want to smash yourself coming into those ring muscle ups because now each one of those ring muscle ups are they're valuable. Every single one is going to jump you up like massive numbers of points. So, you know, even if let's say you have someone that doesn't have ring muscle ups and they get in there, they get in around whatever, 17 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're moving. And then you have someone that's like, okay, I can do ring muscle ups. I don't know how many, you know, let's say that they're going to be doing singles, or even if they can do a handful at a time. If they come into that last minute, meaning that they've gone 2 minutes slower into 19, but they're able to pull out 5 ring muscle ups.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a massive difference on the leaderboard.
For sure.
So I think it really comes down to understanding, well, first of all, knowing what your muscle up status is, 1. And then 2, it's like, okay, I really think it comes down to the burpees because there's 90 of them. And you have to manage those all the way through. And this is one that I think the not as experienced athletes will really they'll feel great on the first 30 and they're flying. And then they'll just like do a headbutt right into the wall. And then they're crushed after that. It's like, make your first 10 should be the speed of your last 10 is kind of what you want to be thinking on your burpees.
That's a great idea. And a good way to approach how to speed or gauge your speed is like, okay, what would you want your last 10 to pace out? Okay, start there. I really like that idea. As far as being as successful as you can for the overhead squats, it's like, listen, you're going to lose more time doing tired burpees than you will breaking up the other work.
Yep.
So there's nothing wrong. I mean, for a general strategy, breaking up in your overhead squats in 3 or 4 sets isn't the worst idea. If it's just like, I'm putting the bar down to shake my shoulders out, catch my breath, and snatch it again.
I mean, it's light. It's light. There shouldn't be a fear of putting it down.
Right. And I think when it's light, people are like, oh, well, I shouldn't put it down because it is light. So they go and rip off 25.
Right.
Like, no, like I am not above just doing 5 sets of 10 and getting to the bar facing burpees like 15 seconds after the person that did way too big of sets and now they're tired. And then my steady burpee pace for 40 reps, right? If you just do that half-second pout, every burpee, you've lost 20 seconds. Boom, a half a second, and I've already passed you. Right? Or you break up your overhead squats on purpose. You go into the burpees feeling good. You keep steady there. And then you go to the back rack lunges where at least on the back, you're going to be able to breathe. You take your 10 steps, drop the bar, turn around, pick it up, put it back over your shoulders and go again.
Yeah.
Like break every, I think tens is almost like your best friend here on all the work outside of the burpees.
Now I looked, I didn't see anything anywhere. It didn't say that if you broke, you couldn't put the bar to your back. So on the overhead squats, do your set of 10 overhead, drop the bar to your back. That's where you take your break, jump it up overhead again, get into your burpees or your next set. So then you never have to bend over to pick it back up. I mean, it's 95 pounds, 65 pounds.
Well,
I didn't see that.
Match it like whatever.
Well, not totally. But what I'm saying is that the one thing, and I looked to see if I didn't see anything. I didn't see that it said that you couldn't bring it down to your back in between.
Well, they're also not doing a good job of giving. They're also, looking for more detail has been
right. What I like about that is it keeps you engaged in that segment, in that piece, without doing the walk away. The people they put it down, they have to do the walk around thing.
Yeah.
It keeps you in, it manages your rest time. It allows you to take a break. So, everything's coming down, but you aren't removing. So that rest time. So now you can break every 10 reps easily, have that short rest and get right back into it and still be good.
Yeah. I like that. On the cleans, it's basically a power clean. Like a muscle clean.
I think you should do single squat cleans on that.
Yeah. That's the point where you still want to try to get away. Don't redline. Like if you feel like you're working too hard to get the clean, just put it down. Like,
yeah.
And honestly, I mean, you joked about single squat cleans, but don't be too proud for just single power cleans.
Just don't make sure you have your weights that don't bounce really well.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah, that would be bad. But if you have this like nice little rogue, solid, almost like
the ones that die when they hit the ground.
Yeah, the ones that you like for something like that.
Right.
The one thing here, the pistols, like don't use that as like I'm gonna get everybody. I'm gonna catch up. Like just take your time there. Don't fall over. Don't get a no rep, and let that like 20 pistols be your break before you try to like send it on the muscle ups if you're capable.
Yeah. Again, if you're a muscle up person, then that 20, those pistols, that's where you're resting your arms. You're kind of shaking out your shoulders. You're getting yourself ready to get up on the rings. And you're right. It does nothing to speed up and fly through those and get to the rings and stand there.
Yeah. With a higher heart rate than you finish your burpees with.
Right.
So in this one, it's just, look, that's the long chipper. It's what is a 20-minute cap for this thing?
Yeah.
20 minutes. So navigate your way through this. Don't be afraid to break early as long as you be consistent with your breaks. And like Bill says, whether you keep it on your back or you just have the bar on the ground, like don't walk away from it.
Yeah.
Stay over your bar. Keep your burpee pace the same 40 burpee pace as you'd want, say, like your last 20 bar facing burpee pace. Use the standard to your advantage, because I believe it's back to the open standard.
Yeah.
It's our third different burpee iteration in the last 3 weeks, which is awesome. But that's not what we're talking about.
God, I can't wait till next week.
Oh, let's move to event 3 before I get mad. All right. So, event 3, shuttle runs, rope climbs, also known as 10 minutes of rope climbs.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't want to brush this one off too fast, but this is all about rope climbs. It's about getting to your round of 4 as easy as you can, knowing you only have an 8 shuttle run break before you go back for 5. The workout starts in the round of 4 rope climbs. Your shuttle runs should just be rest.
Totally.
Do not run fast, especially from 4 to 5.
No. Oh my gosh. Like
Jog
those, because here's what everyone's going to do. Like, you're going to want to sprint the shuttle sprints. You're going to go fly up the rope. You're going to come off the rope, and then you're going to stand there.
Yep.
And you're going to stand there. Let me get some chalk real fast. And I'm going
I would have liked
stand
to
there.
taken this rest earlier.
Your rope climbs have to be virtually touch and go. Get your rest for whatever you need so that you can go as touch and go as possible on the shuttle. Just that's your rest. And that's where you're chalking up. And that's where you're taking care of all that. And you are not going to need to chalk up in between rope climbs. So cake those things up as much as you can on your jogs. And I say yogs. That's a silent J. And then you go for your rope climbs. And it's immediately off the run to the rope. Up.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Like, this is a race on the rope, but not until you get to the round of 4.
Yep.
Because if you race 1, you're going to do that missed foot grab, and then you hang there like a fish on a hook. And then the round of 2, the round of 1, 2, and 3 is your opportunity to find out what your best pace is on the climbs. Yeah. How can you set your feet, get that rhythm back between the wrap and the reach and the stand. And then in the round of 4, the thing that you learn from round 1, 2, and 3, now you use to your advantage in the set of 4. You chill on the 8 shuttle runs, and then the round of 5. And I think anything after that, the 10 minutes is a tight cap, because you're going to get through 3 and you're in what, the first 2 minutes, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got all this time in the order. No, because that time is going to disappear fast, especially on the rope. But like you said, is chill on the shuttles. Your workout begins at the 4 rope climbs. When you get to 5, you're basically I feel like most people are going to get stuck in the 6.
Yeah.
Well, maybe most people in 5, depending on your rope climb. But say your best scores, your top 50 or your top 30 that are going to qualify, getting through the round of 6 may be the gold standard.
Yeah, I could see that. For those of you guys that are out there, this is not a pulling with your arms rope climb thing. Keep your arms as straight and as long as possible. This should be pulling your legs up, not pulling up with your arms. It's got to be, again, because when you get into those upper sets where you have to immediately come off the rope and go right back up, if you have your biceps under tension for 2, 3 ropes after you've already done 6 or 7, you're going to feel like you have to rest. And that's what you don't want. You want to just be able to hang by your hands, lock with your feet, and stand. So keep those arms nice and long.
It's always funny to tell someone to climb with their legs.
I know, totally.
You're just not falling off with your hands.
Yep.
You're climbing the rope with your feet and your legs.
Yep.
But that's really it. So if you guys aren't great at rope climbs, maybe that's when I say move a little faster on the shuttle runs. If you do have a hard time, which people do, I get it. I don't see that many people having issues in this setting, quarterfinals, but if you're maybe this in the other divisions, but chill shuttles, send the climbs after the round of 3. After the round of 3, disclaimer. All right, let's move to event number 4, and this is the CrossFit Total, which I can't wait to talk about next week.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so
can't
good.
Wait. Max back squat, strict press, deadlift. Man, I'm trying really hard not to analyze the program.
Okay, now, well, the one thing you guys have to remember, and it says to do this, is you have to say what your totals are. You have to show it to the camera. Say what your numbers are, so you should know what your numbers are going into this. Now, the one thing,
is that an attempt, or
Right. Right.
Or is it a warm-up set? Or
Uh,
how many attempts do you get in a warm-up set undeclared? Does that
right. What I would say is the way you need to look at this is, yes, you have a 30-minute clock, but the way you'll utilize that is you'll do all your warming up beforehand, and you're warming up your back squat to you're just about ready, so that really you're only going to be using about, I'd say, 5 to 8 minutes of your back squat time the time. I'd say 5 minutes on your back squat.
It took me 5 minutes. I did this yesterday. I finished it in 5 minutes. My first attempt was at 0. My second attempt was at like 3, and then I didn't take a third.
Right. And that's what it should be, because what you want is the time for the deadlift, and that's where you want the time in between your reps. I mean, the press, the window of where you actually, what you can hit and where you fail is really, really tight. So you aren't going to be able to have like a whole bunch of reps or a whole bunch of different sets going into that. So you'll be done with the first 2 movements in 10 minutes for the most part. So that gives you 20 minutes to find your 1 rep max deadlift. And that's about how you see.
With however many warm-up sets or attempts you're allowed to have. Eric,
Yeah,
it does have to be in that order.
Yeah.
It has to be in the back squat, strict press, deadlift order. Which, oh man, I almost
Stop.
I almost did. Yeah, not too much strategy here. Would you warm up your press and deadlift prior to the 30 minutes at all?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I would. I mean, would I spend a lot of time on it? No, not really. But I because
like
the deadlift is where the deadlift is where your mass is going to be coming from. I'd want to just kind of cue that up a little bit. But when you go heavy on the squats, you're going to be under that load. You're going to feel some load, so you'll get that.
I feel like strict press is one of those you need to warm up a bit. You can't really go. I feel like there's more value in warming up your strict press more than the other two. For me, like,
I think
I can go like 135 and it'd feel really heavy, and I should have just done a couple sets at 95 and 115. And once I get like loose, like I feel so much better.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you need to warm up the deadlift per se, because you'll have like 20 minutes to do that in the event. Right. But yeah, I think that like shoulder, that's what I mean. Like
maybe it's the strict press.
It's such a like that window is so narrow of where you're going to get and where you're not going to get. And so, yeah, you definitely need to warm up your shoulders. And that's why I say do all of that stuff. And even your back squat, let yourself get ready and build up to that way before you start your 30-minute clock. So like I said, you only have 5 minutes on your back squat. It's not going to take long to get to your strict press. I mean, but you're right. I think that you should take some time before that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, give yourself that 10 minutes or whatever it is. You're not doing any pressing, and then you get back into it.
And the strict press is so hard to jump weights with. It's so challenging. Like back squat, you're like, oh, I got 20 more pounds than me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got 50. I can pull 50. I can grunt out 50. Strict press is like, listen, that felt really good. Should I add 5 pounds or 3 pounds?
Yeah.
Because I add 15 pounds or 1?
I hate that lift is.
It's so much easier to judge than bench press.
But we're not analyzing that right now. So dude, it's so funny. We are both tiptoeing all over the place.
Just lock your knees out, everybody.
Lock those legs out.
Just lock your knees out. All right. Unfortunately, the clips don't add to your weight, Eric. Unfortunately. All right. Order. Let's talk about that. I did it last night because I didn't want to do it later. But I think you're right. The hard part there is that when you do this one, like if you put this last, you cut a day off of your competition.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like you can. Okay, let's move over to event 5 because you can wait to do this one because, like you said, the way these are programmed. Okay, this is event number 5. 3 rounds for time of a 50-calorie row.
Oh, you're gonna laugh at the 50 double unders.
That's all I put up there. There. You can. I'm sharing my screen. Everybody can see that, right? 3 rounds for time, 50-calorie row. That's the whole workout.
There you go. Boom.
I mean, there's other stuff in here, but
yeah, sort of.
is that too far? With some active rest in between sets. All right. All joking aside, this is going to be a gnarly event for the women or the short people.
Yep.
It's funny. Okay, I can't wait to talk about this on Tuesday.
Your tips and tricks on this.
My tips and tricks. You need to have a row pace that is very strong, but not so hard that it's going to make you break on your handstand push-ups. The good thing about the handstand push-ups is that there's no other interfering movement in the workout because the double under movement is so small that you can afford to do big, tough sets of handstand push-ups because you have a double under break, you have a 50 cal row break. So I would say is the row has to be strong. I would say not a heavy damper setting to get you super smoked, right? That's unnecessary. People getting like, oh, throw it up at a 10 and get 1 cal per pull. It's like, absolutely not. Like, even for the big guys, like, don't do that. It's like somewhere like between I don't know, like a 6. Somewhere between 5 and 7 is what I usually tell people. I don't know what usually give that for cals for people. As a blanket statement, I mean, for your
I think it depends on how far you have to go. Like this is if you're going 50, if you're trying to get 1 cal per pull, then you're looking at 50 pulls here. So do you want to do 50 really heavy deadlifts? Or do you want to do, 58 lighter ones or 60 a little bit lighter ones that aren't going to smoke you? Because again, it comes down like everyone's going to do great on round 1. Like that is not the race. You want to make sure that you're not crushed because I mean I've done so many sets of 500 repeats. And every single one I'll get into them and I'll just be cruising in it like 250. I'm like, dude, I am killing this. And then you get to like 375. You're like, I want to get the fuck off this thing because I'm sucking right now. So that's what you want to be thinking here. I think you're right. It's, drop the damper down because there's no sense. Like there's no prizes for putting in 10. There's no prizes for I must get 1 cal per pull. It's what is going to make it so that I can finish the strongest. That's where you want to be thinking. And you're right. The handstand push-ups. There is absolutely no reason that you should come off your head for these at all.
Well, you're also let me press this. You're the king of resting on your head.
It's 15.
Don't like to do. I understand that.
I understand 3 sets of 5, stay on your head, because if you have to kick off, the blood comes down the other way, you sit for a second, you shake your arm, just get the hell off the wall.
I like coming off the wall. I don't like sitting on my head. Yeah, I'm in camp, come off the wall. But I don't like this here.
I'm talking in this particular one. I mean, yes, I like to stay on the wall, but I'm talking in this particular one.
In this particular 15, one, I'm doing 15 unbroken and I'm moving on. Like that's what I'm doing, right? Totally. But if you have to take a break, it's okay to come off the wall as long as you don't walk away from the wall. If you want to stay in your head like Bill likes to, but I'm going to be on the other side of saying it's okay too.
But in this particular event, you're going to stay on your head because you're going to do these unbroken.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to rest on my head. I'm just going to do 15 and I'm getting off the wall.
There you go. Yeah. You get your 15 done before you come off, however that looks.
Yeah, fair. Double unders. Mark had a question. The time cap of 20 minutes seems generous, and I believe that's in there to make sure everyone gets a shot at finishing this workout, because there are going to be people that are going to struggle with handstand push-ups. There are going to be people that are going to struggle with double unders, so they're going to lose a lot of time but not get any work done. So I feel like that time cap isn't a strenuous cap like we say in events 1 was, where this one is just giving everyone an opportunity to do them, if that makes sense. This isn't a time cap that's going to like cap people. It's a time cap that's going to let people do all the work programmed. Yeah. Strategy wise, it's a rowing workout, period.
It's a rowing workout. Yeah.
Like even if you're meh at handstand push-ups, it's still a rowing workout. Like that row, even for your big, strong athletes, is going to be like 2 to 2.5 minutes. And that's a fairly quick row.
Yeah.
So you're looking at more like 3 to 4 minutes for the marginal to miniature, 5, 6 or belows. Handstand push-up. So like there's, if we say 3 or 4 minutes per, there's already 9 to 12 minutes of time on the row. So now you have 8 minutes to do 45 handstand push-ups and 150 double unders. So, the time can slip away.
Yeah.
If that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But really, listen, if you want to win this workout, you need to be rowing at like 14 to 1500 cal per hour pace for the men. For the ladies, I would say 11 to
12.
11 to 1200. That's 1400 is about the average pace you need to row the calories per hour to get a calorie per pull. You can usually get that if you're at that pace. If you're at 1000 to 1200, it's about 1.5, I think, pace wise. That'll get you off the rower. And again, let's say just that 2 to 3 minute range for everybody at that decent pace for men and women. 15 handstand push-ups is going to take you 30 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds with transitions. 50 double unders takes less than 30 seconds at a chill pace. Depending on Bill's day, it could be 3 minutes.
It'll either be 15 seconds or 3 minutes, one of the two.
Yeah, and so you have a 2 to 3 minute strong effort row with 60 to 90 seconds maybe between the other two movements, and then you're back to the rower.
Yep.
So really understand is like, all joking aside of what we're messing with in the beginning, this is 100% a rowing workout.
100%.
So you can't make up a 30 to 45 second deficit on the other two movements.
Right.
You can't do that. There's no time, especially if everybody is decent. Like if you want to make the top 30, you need to row between 14 to 1500 as a guy, 1050 to 1200 as a girl. You must do your handstand push-ups unbroken. You must do your double unders unbroken without sprinting those. Right? Your handstand push-up and double under is your only time to catch your breath. And then it's back to the rower.
Right.
And that's it. There's nothing else you can do. You have to row hard today or in this event. I guess it's to say. It's like Helen.
Yeah, it's all the run.
This is Helen. Son of a bitch. Right?
It is. Yeah.
This is such a Boz workout. Boz loves Helen. Huh. Saving it. Shit. Sorry. I jumped the gun. No, not really.
Not really.
Yeah. So Helen, if you guys don't know Helen, welcome to CrossFit. 3 rounds for time, 400 meter run, 21 kettlebell swings at the 53 and 35, and 12 chin over bar pull-ups. Like Helen is a great introductory workout.
Until you are good at all those movements.
You're good at all of them. And then
all it is how fast can you run?
Exactly. Right. And so that's what this is.
Yeah.
This is basically Helen. So now the emphasis is on the row, which is the monostructural element. Well, so is the double unders, but the 15 handstand push-ups is like that 21 kettlebell swing. It's not a lot of reps. It's not a heavy bell. You can do this all unbroken if you are a seasoned athlete, as you said, Bill. And the 50 double unders are like doing 12 chin over bar pull-ups. It's just there.
Right.
And so now this has become a 100% row workout.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got. Order. You want to talk order?
Oh yeah. So I honestly, the way that these events are set up, I don't think the only thing I told all my people was like take the total and flip flop 4 and 5. Just get the total at the end. Do the other stuff, and with these events, I mean, I think you could. It's not hard. It's not hard to do them 2 at a time. It's just not. The even though the volume is going to be up there on a lot on some of the events, I don't think that they're damaging to stop you from doing anything. That's why I wanted everyone to do the total last rather than first, because if I don't see anything weird happening on these events to screw up your total, but I can see the total, you have chance of something happening or something getting hurt or tweaking something, and then it's going to fuck you up for the rest of the shit. because all the other stuff is light and in high volume and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I totally agree. I think the way, like if you do it last, then your training is done by Saturday.
Yep.
Right. So you're cutting off an extra day. I think the way the last event's programmed, even if something got a little squirrely on the CrossFit total, it's an event you could do afterwards, depending on your back, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. And I'm also the only one that's gonna say sap your legs is event 2 with the overhead squats, the lunges and the pistols. But even that volume at that weight, I don't think is enough to take away from your back squat.
No, and there's, I mean, reality, like there's a lot. Burpees suck, but there's a pretty good break for your legs on the overhead squat, on the lunges, and on the pistols in between with those burpees in between and with the clean. So, I mean, like, it's not like they're just getting blasted.
Right.
There's that break. So I think that they would be
even with like the dumbbell snatches in event 1, 60 reps broken up in sets of 20 isn't enough to like blow your back up.
No.
So yeah, I'm actually I'm with you.
Yeah.
Pushing that back is, I don't think it's going to take away, at least if you're just thinking about, like you said, self-preservation and safety, the risk reward there, it's definitely more beneficial to kind of keep it where it is.
Let me ask you, if it was the other total, would you put it? Would you change the order? Would you put it back towards the end, or would you put it to the front with the same events that we have?
That's a good question.
I mean, honestly, I think I would probably still put it at the end, even though I don't think that you have the same chance to hurt yourself that you would on the other ones. You know what I mean? I don't say you can't hurt yourself.
What did I miss? Everything,
bro.
Thank you for
everything.
Okay, so really, I think that one's going to be a big preference.
Right.
I don't see you have to put it here. Like last year in the quarterfinals, it was like put your front squat first.
Oh yeah,
you have to. You're like the 120 wall ball shots, the 3,337 pistols that we had to do, and all that like core work and all that other crap was going to take away from that. But with the other total, as you asked, was I would only do it first because I use that as a warm up for the workout that I want to go fast on.
Yeah.
I like doing that because for me, an overhead squat, a bench press, clean, or whatever order that was supposed to be in, it would be a great warm up for the fast one.
Yeah.
But even with this programming, we don't really have that. Like we don't have a fast one, which is weird.
I mean, the only thing I would be looking at is the potential of someone trying to go heavy on the deadlift. And just, I mean, you know how it works out. Like you're fine.
I know how that works
tweak,
out.
A little tweak.
Very well, Bill. Why do you think I don't deadlift anymore? Because I did that.
So it exactly like, but you know, you compare how, if anybody looks at their past, when did they get a little tweak? Was it more chances that they did it on deadlift, or was it more chances that they did it on overhead squats or a clean or bench? Like, I just don't think, I think the chance of something happen percentage wise for most has been on deadlifts. And that was why I'd say, like, just put it to the end, because that's the last thing you want to do is have to do a bunch of reps, but be tweaked because your hips or your low back or your traps or whatever are jacked up from pulling heavy.
There's no reason you have to do it first.
Yeah.
So yes, put it at the end if it's for a safety concern. If you're fine, like I wasn't going heavy yesterday. That's another, because I'm doing these events to save my schedule because I have kids and I have a wife who's working late all this week. Like, so I did it first.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do this Sunday morning or I don't want to do it Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Right. So mine was schedule dependent, and I only took a certain amount of lifts because this isn't a priority for me this year.
Right.
And like, so I only took 2 reps. I took 2 on my back squat. I did my second one. I go, that was enough stress there. You know, I also haven't lifted in almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And then The strict press I'm decent at, so I was like, oh, what can I get? I failed my first rep.
Oh, dang.
I failed my first attempt. I was like 186, and I go, oh shit.
I hate that lift.
Yeah.
I am decent. I wouldn't, I'm not by any means going to say I'm good at deadlifts. I'm very decent. I'm good at reps of deadlift that I can handle, but like 1 reps, I'm not very good at. But the strict press is by far my worst lift.
Weird. So weird.
Like I'm better at dumbbell curls than I am at like a strict press. Put me on a preacher like concentration curls. I'll be way better at that.
Strict press is an odd okay one for me. It doesn't offset my shit deadlift though.
Yeah, it's just a party.
So yesterday so that my whole goal going into the day was I just wanted 315 to come off the ground to get a score.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, cause I have a bad back. It's chronic. It's every time I deadlift I'm out for a couple weeks. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to do anything heavy, just that. And then my training partner, Jules, pulls 400 in my face.
Dude, she's a beast.
It's like, fuck. So naturally, I put 406 on the bar and pulled it, almost passed out.
Oh my God. Dude.
Got it.
It's so funny.
And this morning I sniffled and now I have spasms in my neck and my shoulder blades. And I put 406 on the bar because of this comment that Shane makes is how many people are going to screw up the calculations of the weights in event number 4 because the bars will count as the weight at which they are. Meaning I had more weight on the bar. I had 405 on the bar, but my bar is only 44 pounds because bars are made in 20 kg and 15 kg. Nearly 95% of them are that. If you don't think so, go check. You didn't buy a 45-pound bar from Rogue. Rogue doesn't make 45-pound barbells.
Right.
Barely anybody does. And if they do, it's probably not a company you want to associate yourself with anyways. It's shady. Maybe they're great. I'm being stupid, but I had to put ones on to get above, whatever, right? But man, this is why I shouldn't sign up for these things when I'm not like actually trying to compete because I go out and do dumb shit like that. But all right, gang. Have fun. Good luck. The order of operation, you guys will be just fine in the order of which they are.
Totally.
1 to 5 is fine. If it's a preference thing, if you want to put the total earlier because of life, fine. In no way are we actually saying now that that needs to be part of your strategy. Like it doesn't have to be. The way these things are programmed, you'll be fine in the order of which they are. You're not going to get too blown up. The only one that may get you smoked is event 2. But even then, as Bill said, is like you have a lot of breaks between all the lower body movement anyway because of the burpees. So I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Yeah.
And we successfully navigated not analyzing the programming here. I would say.
But if anyone can guess what next week's Element 26 thumb tape is going to be.
What is it going to be?
What's it going to be?
What's it going to be? I can't wait.
I
shows up for that show.
I will say this. So you know how like the open events got leaked because someone figured out the URL?
Yes.
I figured out the URL.
You did?
Yeah. Ahead of time.
Mr. Technologically.
I know. I don't know how.
Runner.
It was really funny. I had to coach the noon class and waiting for the I was just hanging out and waiting for the noon class. And I'm like, God, that was weird that they could figure out they just kind of, fix the web address. And I went back and I looked at the workouts, the quarterfinal workouts for the individuals.
Yes.
Saw what the address was. And at the very end, it was like a number 1.
Please don't tell me you just changed. I'm looking at it right now.
I went to teams and it said the last number was 11.
Okay.
And I changed 11 to 12. And then the quarterfinals popped up and I had it 30 minutes ahead of time.
Oh my gosh.
So next time, just change those last numbers. If apparently that's just out there. So I don't know.
What is the schedule for next week? Tuesday?
Tuesday? Yeah, I think
Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday?
I think we're doing Tuesday.
Tuesday, We're going to sit down and analyze the programming time-wise.
Probably like around this time. Yeah.
This time?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know. So follow us again. Check out our Instagram page. That's where we post episodes that are coming up. We post details and all this other schedules about what we're doing when we're going live. Links to all these shows. So we keep you guys informed as we move along. But that's it. So good luck to all you masters out there. We hope you guys go through this unscathed. We hope you guys have fun and yeah, go kick some ass.
Go have fun, guys.
Yeah, go out and have fun. Thank you guys for joining us. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.